Vandalia's problems are definitely not unique to Vandalia. When I was in high school here, we had, probably 400 members and booming PYF. And then, as times changed, the neighborhood changed. Church attendance has been declining, I think, in lots of places. Our stated supply minister started bringing different people in to talk with us, consultant type people, to give us ideas on what possibly we could do. And so we looked at all the ideas that people would give us, and nothing just felt quite right. Some people thought we were like putting our head in the sand and not accepting the reality of what was going on here. We're down to about 18 people in worship every Sunday, of which 66 would be the youngest. Our minister would bring in articles for us to read. Then he asked us to read The Sailboat Church, and that book is what really stuck with us. The metaphor there, of course, is churches that are rowing their sailboat are working themselves to death and not getting anywhere, which is what we have been doing for years, meetings after meetings and nothing changing. But the Sailboat Church, it's not like you just raise that sail and miracles happen. You raise the sail and you pray and you listen. And I think that's the important part. What I think discernment really means is listening and watching. After reading the book 3 times, I put up a Sailboat Church bulletin board, and so that we could all focus on what sailboat churches do. And so we looked like we did nothing, but we really weren't doing nothing. A lady from Presbytery came and gave us a list of all of our choices. They were honestly trying to help us. Okay? They were proactive. They were concerned that we were going to end up having one big expense and not having the money to pay for it, and then losing everything. And so she gave us a list of, these are going to be your options. And the last one was possibly you could sell the building to a nonprofit and rent space back from them. Well, everyone agreed that that was the best option, but we're like, who in the world is going to buy this building, pay all the bills, fix the 2 air conditioning units that don't work, put on a new roof, and let us rent back from them? We thought that's just impossible. But when it's what God's will is, nothing is impossible. When God is in charge, it works out. You just have to have faith. We had a person walk in the building and said that they were interested in looking for a place to rent. And I showed them around, and they loved the place. And then he asked if he could bring more people back the next week, and he did. And everybody is coming in going, they're just oohing and eyeing over this building that some of our members had started referring to as the albatross around our neck, because it was in such need of repair. And it just was such a relief to see people that saw the building through the eyes that I had always seen the building. And so they came back a couple more times. And then as one guy was going out, he said, have you ever thought about selling this building? Several weeks later, it worked out that they made us an offer. And the cool thing about it is that they are Seventh-day Adventists. And so they worship on Saturday and we worship on Sunday. And so it's not going to be an easy transition because there are some differences. But of all the options that we had, I really think that this is God's will for this church, for this building. They're going to allow us to stay here, and we're going to work together. They're going to help us with the food pantry and the clothing closet. They have a lot of ideas for things they want to do for the community. So I think it's going to work out great.
I had been the pastor here years ago when my hair was a different color. And so they asked me to come and moderate the session, and I've been helping out as I could with preaching. And one of the amazing things was the work of their food pantry, serving this community. And oddly enough, one of the really good things that happened was a byproduct of a break-in where someone broke into the building, stole especially the fresh meats, and it was in the newspaper here, and the community responded with gifts and donations because they knew the good work that was going on here. And they received, I don't know, $35,000 to help the food pantry. And that kind of gave them a glimpse, I think, of how you never know what's going to happen.
We were running out of money, especially for the food pantry. And I had put a note up in the pantry not to add anything extra to any of the bags because we had about 2 months and then we're done. And then that Saturday night, the church was broken into. Now, I mean, you know, if that's not divine intervention, I don't know what is. The food pantry is still running on the money that we receive. You know, I feel like that this community I feel like they need us here. We're needed here. We're needed here. And this Seventh-day Adventist Church, they're going to be able to do so much more. I feel like that we're going to work well together.
Presbytery has really helped us in this process. We often talk about a connectional system, but Jody and then Tony already connecting us with the Presbyterian Foundation. They have been great. And I want to say the session and the congregation has been great. They welcome the help, and it's been a great partnership. It just couldn't have gone any better, I think.
Yes.
So,
yeah, I agree. When it's what God's will is, nothing is impossible.